What's up, drum fan? Welcome back. Have you ever heard about the term CCM drumming? Have you ever heard about the term CCM music? CCM stands for Contemporary Christian Music. And if you have no idea what that means, you're not alone. A lot of people have no idea what that means. It's like saying contemporary dance. What is contemporary dance? But CCM music is basically Christian pop music. That's the best way to describe it. It's Christian pop music. And at times it's fun and at times it's not fun. So over the last decade, CCM music has become very, very, very prevalent in our society and in our churches. So me being the drummer that I am, I'm always constantly trying to improve myself. I'm always trying to find a way to become better in what I do. So I went to a Reliable and I went on YouTube and I typed in how to play CCM drums. I mean, I study music, I've been playing CCM drums for a really long time, but I wanted to kind of like go back to the basics and like kind of refresh myself a little bit. And to my surprise, there was nothing on YouTube about CCM drumming. And when I mean nothing, I mean literally nothing, not even the basics or what to do or what to find. All I found was like these videos about top 5 tips on how to become a better CCM drummer or top 5 tips or top 5 drum fills. And I'm like, what is this? Like I already know how to do drum fills. I'm just trying to kind of solidify that base for CCM drumming. So I said to myself, there's no video, so I'm just gonna make one. So today we're gonna talk about on how to become a CCM drummer. So CCM drumming is just basically the act of playing in pocket, right? We said at the beginning that CCM drumming is basically Christian pop music. And like all pop music, it's simple, it's easy to understand, and it's very repetitive. Now that we know what CCM actually is, now we need to actually talk about the spiritual element behind it. Because CCM is not only pop Christian music, it's also worship. So you have a task at hand that you need to conquer, and it's leading worship. But before we get into that, let me just cover some tips and tricks to make you a better CCM drummer or turn you into a CCM drummer. So my number one thing that you need to learn is learn the part. That's it. Just learn the drum part, right? If you have a song like Praise, learn the drum part, learn the tom pattern, learn the kick pattern, learn the snare pattern. And guess what? Most of the time, it's the same as all the other songs. So if you learn the basis of those patterns, you'll be able to play any CCM song. So learn that. So tip number 1 under that is once you learn the pattern, it's time for you to expand it. Now, don't go crazy playing crazy stuff that you're not supposed to play. Don't do that. Remember, we're playing in front of a congregation, in front of a church that is being led to worship. So we have to keep that in mind at all times. But as a musician and a worshiper, you should be able to contribute to your worship and into the worship with your worship, if that makes sense. And tip number 2 is memorize the music. Just memorize it, right? You can't play a song if you don't memorize it. I know there's certain circumstances like last minute song changes and stuff like that, but you should be able to play and sing most of today's contemporary Christian music because it is simple. Like I said, it's basically pop music, so you should be able to play it and sing it at all times. All right, my second point is that people can't see you, so lead. And this is where we're gonna get into the spiritual aspect of CCM music. Because as a drummer, right, you're usually in the back. You're sent to the back. That's just the way that it is. Or you're in a cage where people can barely see you. But the reality is, people can still see you, right? I don't know how many times I had somebody come up to me after church and tell me, hey, you have truly blessed me today with your worship. Like you really inspire me to get focused and dive into the worship at that time because you were worshiping, right? People can see you. It's not about just playing the part, right, in CCM. It's about you actually worshiping. because it's still a church service. It's still a worship service. So you need to start getting into the mentality of not just being a musician. You have to start getting into the mentality of being a worshiper as well. So my first tip for how to worship while you're playing drums, which is probably the hardest one to do because you need your hands and your feet at all times, is take advantage of the silent moments where you're not playing. If you're not playing in a part, right, it's a solemn, quiet, very worshipful time, take advantage of that and raise your hands and worship. Just get involved at that time. Just because you're not playing doesn't mean that you have to stop worshiping. Take the time to actually focus and say, all right, now it's my turn to really dive in and raise my hands, worship, and give God all the praise and all the glory. That's one way that you can lead. The second way that you can lead is to sing along to the song. Sing along. You know this music, or you should know this music. So sing along while you're playing, right? People are watching you, and it's not that you're trying to manipulate the situation. It's just that you're up there, you're on the stage. So be a part of that. Be a part of the worship. Sing along, lead, just do worship. And my third tip under this second point is to play with a worship attitude, meaning that realize that everything that you're playing is not for the people in the audience, it's not for your pastor, it's for God. So you want to give your best at all times, man. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner or an expert, or you're playing with Carrie Job in front of 20,000 people or Brandon Lake. It doesn't matter. It's not for them. The worship that you're playing behind that instrument, it is not for them, it is for God. So you need to really, really understand that you need to give your best at all times because it's for Him, and He gave us the best. He gave us Jesus Christ, who came and died on the cross for us. So that needs to be your worship attitude. I'm coming in, I know the parts, I'm gonna contribute to the worship, I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna help lead, even if it's from a drum cage, but I'm gonna worship. Everything is for you, and I need to give you the best because you have been nothing but amazing with me. So you should be praying before every service. You should be praying throughout the week and getting ready and meditating on the music and telling God to guide you. I know it sounds so stupid, but I don't know how many times I've prayed throughout the week before I go and play on a Sunday morning, and I know that God just takes over me and is like the one leading me through these fills, through these rhythms, and how to contribute. It's just because you're part of it. You're part of the worship team. It's not the worship team and the band. It's the worship team. So you have to start understanding that you are part of the worship. You are contributing to the worship. You should be acting like the worship leader. If the worship leader is praying every week for these songs, you should be praying every week for these songs. If the worship leader is praying for breakthrough and chains to be broken in the congregation, so should you. Like you're not in the back as a bystander and watching. You're there, you're up there. Contribute. Understand that CCM worship is more than just playing Christian pop music, even if it's boring. All right, guys, so that's it for today's video. If you have any questions or comments, just drop them down there. Don't be afraid. I love talking to you guys. I know I've been MIA for a couple weeks, but yeah, I'm gonna be posting more videos here soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe, just so that way you can keep in touch and keep up with all the videos that I'm posting. All right, love you guys. Peace.